All right. How is everyone doing? Let's put this a little up. Okay. Here we go. Output. Huh. All right. Still. Hey. Yeah, so far. First one. Wait, I'm trying to configure my audio a little bit. Played around with it, of course. Oh, it's not working. Let's see. Yeah. Hello. Are you there? Somebody listening? Cool. Thank you. But the delay of this is really annoying sometimes. Like I think it's Twitter, maybe. I don't know. I'll restream whatever like what I'm using to stream. It's just it takes, I don't know, a minute until I see a new message. Oh. Oh well. Cool. Well, let's get started. Let's not dilly-dally too much. Yeah, so we're still working on the sentiment analysis for BlueSky. And actually, there was an interesting development yesterday. So I saw on BlueSky that somebody, I think called Jot, damn it, Jess? No. Well, there is something called BlueSky, and they're not the firehose, but it's the, man, I should have looked at that. Sorry. Yeah, this one. No, hang on. There is a new project that they added here. Jetstream, that's the one I meant. So Jetstream is another, actually I also got to change my configuration. Jetstream is another way, like a firehose API, but it is JSON based. So instead of receiving a CBOR encrypted or encoded message, you receive JSON, which is cool. And also it allows you to filter. So you can just say, I want only posts. And that's an issue that we're having right now, because we have to do a whole processing step to filter out all the things we don't want. We don't want to see likes, we don't want to see retweets or whatever. We only want to see posts. So actually that might be an interesting thing. Maybe we write this one to use the Jetstream instead. I read that this is already part of the BlueSky social GitHub community, but I think there's no official like public production server yet. So if we connect to this, it might still happen that it is not working. But yeah, we could already rely on this instead of, because that would reduce a lot of our burden of filtering out the events we're not interested in, because right now we get so many likes and retweets and all that kind of stuff. And if we would, if we could filter those out, then we have so many more posts that we receive, right? Because right now we're filtering out like maybe just 1 out of 10 events we're receiving is a post or so. Yeah. So what do you think? Should we rewrite this, or are you tired of working with the API and you rather want to get started with the sentiment analysis? What's your preference here? I can also get started with the sentiment analysis. That's actually where we left off on Friday. Because right now we already have all the posts. We just need to start the analysis. But we could also quickly rewrite this one. So what do you think? What do you want? What do you want to see today? Hello. I'm gonna repeat that question. I wanted to ask you what do you want to see today? Hey Mike. I just asked a question like we have a new sort of say firehose API, like something new where we can also connect to, and it might allow us to actually only receive posts because right now we also receive a lot of likes and retweets and so on, and we filter those out. So we could actually connect to this one, filter the packages, and then we only receive posts. That might actually make it easier for us to do the analysis, because then we have so many more posts. Or alternatively, we continue now with the sentiment analysis. So we actually need to set up NX and Bumblebee and run our post through that model. So what do you think? Do you want to spend a little time on just rewriting this to use the JSON API instead of the official firehose API, or do you want to get started with the sentiment analysis? Sentiment analysis. That's a hard thing to say fast. Yeah. Okay, no messages coming in. Well, in that case, I'm gonna make the decision here, and I think we will just quickly move over to this one because it already gives an example where we can actually fetch only the posts. So let's do that. Let's go to Z. And the cool thing is the only thing we need to do is really change our URL here. I'm just gonna duplicate this so that we have it in the future. And in this situation, we move over. Awesome. Hi, Andrew. Okay, so the cool thing now is, yeah, we can connect to the Jetstream. It gives us JSON, so it's not CBOR anymore. So we actually need to update our Broadway processor because previously we had a processing step here. Let me make this bigger for you. We had a decoder here, and the decoder would, where is it? Here. It would actually use CBOR, like the library, to decode the CBOR encoded message. But right now it's already a JSON, so we don't really need to do much, I guess. We can just do process data, and I'm just gonna print out the post for now. But effectively, we should be able to just do OK and return the post as JSON. Let's see what that gives us. Okay. We got a... Oh, okay, so this is text. Actually, I think they give us an example here. I think we also need to decode it. This might be encoded text. Yeah, this is... Hang on. This looks like encoded JSON. So what we can do is JSON decode and just return this. And then in the batch, maybe we just... let's do this. Post, decode. Actually, I mean, we might not always be able to decode this, so I still want to have a little fallback here in case we can't decode it. Hello. Let's see. So now we're receiving JSON. And oh, it's actually text JSON. So this here would be text JSON. Yeah, that already looks better. So now we're decoding it from JSON to yeah, all right. So we're already decoding it from JSON to from a string to JSON. So now we have this stuff here, and maybe the structure is a bit different, but these are all posts, so that's pretty cool. And we have a little problem here, and that's in our query when we get our posts. Yeah, because probably yeah, over here we're getting the Ah, right on. So actually, previously we returned only the URI, the AT URI, instead of the whole JSON thing. So we actually need to handle that here too. And we want, what do we want? The parent? No, we want the DID. Wait, we had that earlier. We had the repo and the ID. Record, created it, reply, text. Wow, okay. Oh, interesting. So in this situation, we don't get all the information we need, maybe. Parent, root. Or is that here maybe? That seems to be the post. But what does it mean if it's a reply? Parent, root. So this one has an ID of like FIY in the end. And I don't see that one here. So I don't think the reply thing is something we can use here. Like still we need to have the AT URI, right? For the post so that we can actually fetch the content here. I mean, that's the DID. I mean, we do have the DID. Can we fetch it with the DID? Ref. This one here looks like the ID. So in that case, this would be our repo and this would be our ID. Let's try that. So we get the DID and the record ref, which is reference, I guess. So yeah, let's extend this one. Let's keep it also that we can simply switch back to the other API if we want to. And what we need is the commit, and then we need the record ref, and we need the DID. And according to my speculation here, the DID is the repo and the ref is the ID. Or the DID is the repo and the ref is the ID. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's see whether that works. I forgot to close. One more? Yeah. Mismatch. Come on, what's happening here? This one is closed. This one is closed. Ah. There we go. Okay, we get not a post. All right, yeah, so we need to decode, hard decode it. What's happening here? We're getting oh yeah, thank you, the closing, yeah. Also logger, wait, first of all, the logger complains, passing not a post is logger's debrief. Yeah, okay, not a post is an atom, and that's why it complains. So let's do not a post. And somewhere in here, our match is not working properly. So let's do this one again. Let's put something in here in between so that we see what's actually being decoded. All right, so it's an OK, and then it's a tuple. Sorry, it's OK and a map. And then in the map, we have a commit. And that commit has a record. Oh, and the DID is outside of the commit. That's what we were missing here, because the commit is closed there, basically. So this one needs to be removed to here. Sometimes it is as easy as that. I hoped, but it doesn't seem so. Yeah, what I like to do is just copy paste these things from the logger and then let the formatter do the hard work. So ideally, okay. So what do we have here? We have a commit and then we have the DID. And well, we need to also match against that, right? So we need to do okay and match against that. And then we have the commit, and that one has a record. And in the record, we have a ref. No, it's not inside the record. Oh, it's inside the commit. Jesus. And then we have a DID, which is outside. Okay, well, this should now work. Yeah, could be, Andrew. I think that was the issue. So we, there you go. Now we actually, we extract properly the data and the UI basically. So now we get a list of all these UIs, but we get another error somewhere, and that was here. Okay, and apparently, oh yeah, we have now our analysis producer here, and that one seems to be killed. Why was that killed? Commit record. Oh, look at that. Actually, we are receiving the text together with the commit. So we don't need to do record reply text. We always get the text here, so we actually don't need to fetch them from the API. That is so much easier. And we even get the language here too. Cool, then we can filter that makes our whole API so much easier, our whole processing thing, because we get the text, we get the language. Huh. Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm rewriting all that stuff now based on a new API endpoint where I'm not 100% sure that it will actually live on, you know? So previously we connected to the official firehose API where we needed to decode the CBOR and extract, you know, the ID and then fetch the data and all. So in here we actually have everything together, which is cool, but it means that I would need to rewrite so much stuff. Like for example, the whole pipeline basically, you know? So maybe what I will do just is leave this as it is because it worked before, and I'm gonna move this to a new pipeline. So we actually just create one pipeline that receives all these posts, batches them, and then sends them through the sentiment analysis model. And that is so much easier than, you know, to receive the post, decode them, filter them according to their language. No, so we decode them first, then we filter them whether they are posts or not. We reject all the likes and so on. Then we fetch from the API their content in batches of 25, and then we filter them out by language, and only then we run them through the model. Like, this is so much easier because we get all the information that we need just as an event. We can even filter by the posts. We receive the language. We receive the text immediately. Right? That is cool. Let's do that. Let me just, I'm just gonna create a new pipeline here. I'm just gonna call this simplified. See, that is like, this is an example of working with a good API. Ah, hi. Welcome back to another week. I was just saying this is an example of a really good API because now we get all the information we need for our pipeline already from the API, so we don't need to go back to the API to BlueSky's API and retrieve all the information that we actually need to do our job, right? It just gives us all that information right away, and that is so much easier. So You know, it's cool when an API is actually properly designed, and then you just connect to it, and out of a sudden you have everything you need. You know, it's really smart. That is actually a sign of a good company. I think in this situation, the Jetstream thing is actually written by this person. I don't know. I saw them on BlueSky. Eric Jazz. That was the name. Jazz. Yeah, this person. Yeah, and they also have a really cool Grafana board where they can see all the messages coming in. Here somewhere. They showed that yesterday. They could actually show, you know, they were Japanese, Portuguese, and English messages. And they were like 60 posts a second. Man, they post a lot. They are very active. Yeah, anyway. Somewhere they... And they're also really good with Grafana. Okay. Yeah, anyway. Never mind that. I just want to say this is a really cool thing. So let's do the thing. Let's create a simplified processing pipeline, and we already know how to do this because we created 2 of them so far. So I'm just gonna call this Broadway, and I'm gonna copy paste over the Broadway analysis thing we have here. I'm gonna call this simplified. Yeah, and in this situation, so in this situation, we still have a producer. So we need to copy paste that one over here. No, actually this producer I wanted to use because we handled the demand here. Yeah. So this one is the simplified producer. This one still receives our events and it handles the demand. Yeah. But it already receives JSON events now, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, and then we have decode. This is our first processor, and then we have the analysis right away. That is cool. So in the decode step, this is where we need to copy our the match basically here. So like this one basically. This not. So we process data, it's text, we decode it with JSON, and then we extract the URI. Yeah. And this is gonna be an error, reason, and we return error, reason. Yeah, and our decoder, we basically call process data with our message. And yeah, so also here now we can already filter, right? Because wait, so we don't need to extract our UI anymore because we already receive the language and the content. So we can literally just get rid of this. So we receive a text message. And in here, we can simply just do JSON decode, but this might actually be the message data, because in Broadway, you always work with a message struct. Yeah. And what we want to get from this, so this is basically what we receive. It's an OK. And then in here, we have like a commit. And that one has a record, which has langs, like languages. Which has a record, which has langs. And in here, we only want to receive the English versions. And otherwise, we say, well, non-English post. But actually, we can also match against the error that we might receive from JSON, just in case that there's a not well encoded message, or we can't we can't decode the message here. So in this case, we still say message failed, and we say a decoding error, and we also want to log the reason. Yeah. Okay, yeah, but otherwise, if it's an English post and then we have the text right here next to lengths, so we can go in here and say text, and this is gonna be our text. And if we have our text, well, then we put that text as a new data, and then eventually we will run the analysis on it. So let's start this one as part of our application. Let's see what happens. Okay. Right. Yeah. We get a message here. So we're gonna do data, and the data is actually this. Yeah, text. Ganz mein Humor. This is German. I agree with you. Well, welcome, first of all, to the live stream. I'm happy that you found me. I am, I think, one of two people who do the live streams in Elixir. The other guy is Jacob. He's doing the Elixir Mentor. I think it's elixirmentor.com. Yeah. So this guy, and he has a YouTube as well, and that's where he live streams a couple of times a week. Community resources, YouTube. And he is more focused on the language itself. So here, this is Jacob. And yeah, you can see he has live streams almost every day, really, or every 2 or 3 days. And he focused more on the language itself. So he goes through every single part of the language, you know. For example, he goes into macros, and then he talks about anti-patterns and so on. Yeah, so he is more like, if you want to learn Elixir, that might be a better approach here to ask Jacob. What I'm doing with my YouTube is, and you can also like either follow me on YouTube or on Twitch. What I'm doing is projects, Elixir projects. Yeah, Peter and Code. So I'm live streaming how to build something with Elixir. Right now we're working on a sentiment analysis data processing pipeline for BlueSky. So, you know, to start at the top again, BlueSky is kind of like Twitter. It's a Twitter alternative. And they have a firehose API where you can just connect to, and then you get all the messages, all the likes, all the posts that are happening on the platform. And we want to connect to that and then just analyze every single post based on their sentiment. So that will be like -1 to 1, whether it's a negative or positive post. And then we average those over time, you know, per minute or so. And that we're going to store in a database. And then we can, you know, see the sentiment changing over time. And we can also visualize it on live view. With live view, we can visualize it on a website if we want to. So that's our current project. And yeah, you're more than welcome to stay along and to just see me code Elixir. But if you're more interested in the language, then also check out Jacob's YouTube for the live streams. Alrighty. So, yeah. Well, if you're here for live, real life implementations, then you're right. Yeah, this also, yeah. Also, this project, I think it's maybe a little bit too much for the stream. It's quite, oh, hang on. No, actually, no. So what I'm saying is just it's a complex project, but I think it will be fine. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm trying to go a little bit slower, you know, but also I don't see your faces. I don't know whether you got everything I'm saying, whether I'm moving too fast, you know, or too slow. So just if you have any questions, just post them here and I will try to answer them. Alrighty, so I think we finally managed to set our simplified, not quite. So we still get an error here. Wait, why is it failed? All right, so this is the message, and this is the text. Oh, like event. This is an event. So we are returning message failed, but that should not happen. So the problem here is that we don't properly decode the text, but I'm not sure why, because this seems to be proper. Let's try this again. Maybe I did a mistake there with the variables. Ah, okay, all right. So we get proper messages, but now we misnamed this one. Analysis. Okay. So now we should be able to receive. I'm just gonna call this default. Alrighty. All right, look at that. So now we receive messages. And the data is a function. Okay. So what we want to do here is iterate over the messages and retrieve the data. And then we just want to print those out. Because if we did it correctly, then we should be able to see the texts now, like the posts. They're all a function. How do I get the the data? Do I have to execute it? Or does... Where is Broadway? Apparently the message is a function. I thought it was a data term. I thought it was actually some, how you say, some data. Like this should be a text, right? Are we doing something? Put data. Yeah, here we return a function, but we don't want that. We just want to put the data here. Let's check that one. Put data. Put update data. We need to do update. No. Put data doesn't expect a function. Update data does expect a function. That was our mistake here. Because we use put data, we can just put the the message right in there. We don't need to wrap it in the anonymous function. Hey Felipe, you're back. Happy New Week. Oh yeah, he does a just clone thing. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, look at this. So now we are receiving messages. They seem to be English. Some of them, yeah, not all of them. This one's certainly not English. But that's the thing, like you need to tag the language you're posting in on BlueSky. Yeah, I'm just confused. Why do we not get more messages? Is that because we filter out too many? Or I think the problem here is also that we don't acknowledge the messages, and the batch is actually waiting for us to acknowledge them. So let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so in our handle batch, what does it expect us to do in the handle batch callback? It must return an updated list of messages. All messages received must be returned, otherwise an error will be logged. All messages after the step will be acknowledged according to their status. In case of errors in the callback, the error will be logged and the whole batch will be failed. Okay, so any one mistake retries the whole batch. Need to act on Broadway, yeah. How do we act though? Is there handle prepare messages? It must be in the message thing, and then is it an act immediately? Configure act? No, this is how we configure the acknowledger. And over here, Yeah, wall gardens with streamers in the middle. Well, that's what Restream is for. That's what I'm using for streaming to all these different platforms. It's called Restream here. Yeah, and you can connect so many more channels. I got X I have set up Kick, TikTok, Instagram, Telegram, Dailymotion, and then also a bunch of, I guess, Chinese whatever stuff. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of cool things. Where you reply egg. Yeah, what's the reply spec here? Callback handle batch. Because in the handle batch you just need to do return a list of messages. Let's look at the batching. The default batcher. Yeah, it's always, I love it. You know, I love it when they don't implement stuff and just say, well, handle special batch. Well, great, but what do I need to return? You know? Like in all the other things, they actually tell you, oh, from handle message, you need to return a message. But only here they don't say it. Well, what is it now? What do I need to do? So we use a no-op acknowledger. Yeah, it's self-explanatory, right? What you need to return here. But so I mean, what I'm returning here is a status okay, but I guess the status need to be set to egg or something. Let's have a look at the message types. Yeah, so the status can be okay, failed, or throw. And we have an acknowledger here, which is acknowledger, no op acknowledger. So do we need to call that thing with the message? Yeah, I mean, it might not be that issue, right? We are thinking it might be this issue here. But it might just, I mean, there is something stopping our pipeline. We do not get more messages. That's the issue. But what is the issue? Yeah. One thing I found the other day is actually a Broadway dashboard. And you can just edit, yeah, here, the Broadway dashboard, and you can add it to your application, and then you can actually see here like the processes and how used up they are. And I think that might be useful here for us to add so that we can actually, yeah. Yeah, the no-op does nothing, that's true. You can add this page to your Phoenix Live dashboard. Okay, let's add this one. Where is the live dashboard? There. Additional pages. Like that, right? Call acknowledger. Yeah, hang on. I'm just gonna. But is this already prepackaged, or do I need to add it? I probably need to add it, right? C distribution. Yeah, I need to add it as a dependency. Where is my Broadway? Here. So what's the current tag? 041. Okay, let's add that one. Okay. Now, if I start my pipeline again, I get a bunch of messages and that's it. It stops. So now, according to this thing, I should be able to go to, what is it? Localhost dev dashboard. And in here, I see the Broadway pipelines. The pipeline is not available for this node. Okay. Oh, enable. No. Oh, pipelines. I need to add it, configure it here. So this one, I think it's called. It's probably this one. Yeah, there you go. Now we have the Broadway BlueSky simplified pipeline. And we can see that our producer is not doing anything, our processor is not doing anything, the default is not doing, nothing is doing anything. Fun. And what's the reason for that? Yeah. Let's find Broadway, handle batch. You know, that's one of these things. You just need to give me somewhere the documentation to understand what do I need to return from this function. Just give me a basic example. Just, you know, like a basic pipeline where you have every single step filled out and not just a freaking comment. Like, yeah, just fill this out, you know? Like, no, I don't want that. I want to see here. So, the transformer. The Broadway module. Okay, so this one has a Broadway, a producer, and a processor, but no batcher. Okay, does it have a batcher? Here, it's an acknowledger. A Broadway acknowledger is a behavior used to acknowledge that the received messages were successfully processed or failed. All right, that's what we need. Messages marked as failed do not continue. We can take advantage of the acknowledgement phase to handle both successes and failures. Message. It seems like you just need to return the message, and if you do that, then it's fine. And if you return message failed, then you actually return a failed message. And all right, look, here he has a batching handle batch. Yeah, all he does is return the messages. So what's the issue? We don't need to do anything special here. But it seems like our producer has died. That's why it's gray, I guess. So let's check that out. What about our producer here? It could also be, again, an issue with our demand thing here. Man, of course my language server doesn't work anymore. Fun, fun, fun. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look here. So our producer sends messages and then it stops. Wait, let's start this one and then quickly have a look at this one. The processor briefly went to 10%, but that's it. Let's see. I have a feeling like our producer is blocking again with the demand thing. You remember this, where we needed to keep track of the demand and all the events we're sending back. Let's look at the demand again. Actually, let's do something else. I'm gonna ask AI to fix this for me. What shall I write? Fix blocking. Fix the issue that the producer. I'd want to understand this though. Let's see where that understands. Maybe it finds something, who knows? Yeah, it didn't do anything. However, there's one good idea here, which is to send an event to the gen server itself. So a frequent issue here is that we are staying in the same loop, and we are, because I just do timer sleep, and that does not give other processes the ability to send me more messages, because I'm just calling myself in a loop and then I'm sleeping. So my process is literally sleeping. So a better message, a better method would be to send a message to myself. So I'm just gonna do a handle info here. I'm gonna do fetch. I'm gonna do, so basically this one here, do handle demand, we're gonna rewrite to a handle info. And everything, this is the message we're receiving, this is our state. So I can also do a process send after to self, and then I'm gonna do fetch with the, yeah, I'm just gonna do, yeah, I'm gonna do a 0 here. And I'm gonna do a no reply. But a no reply actually means that we were sending something back. Huh. So the issue here is that our handle demand, it actually expects a no reply. I'm just gonna do no reply and not send any messages back. And I'm gonna put this in my state. And if I get the handle demand, I just send to myself a message with fetch with the current demand and the current state. Okay, let's see how that goes. Oh, is this not a gen server? Oh, it's a gen state thing. Oh, man. Huh. Okay, do we have an example for a producer that uses handle demand? Yeah, this one. It uses gen stage. Maybe that fixes it. Nope. Yeah, we had that issue last week already, where our producer would stop sending messages because we didn't handle the demand properly. So what happens here is basically that you need to you need to kind of call yourself in a loop until you can fulfill the demand, and then you send back messages. But, oh man, what's happening here? This is getting annoying. Okay. Let's see, maybe we can, look, so there are a couple of demand messages, and even sometimes there's like a single message that gets returned. Okay, let me just comment out my message here so that we can easily see the demand. Okay, let's do this. Wait, I have another IO somewhere. In here. Okay. So now we can see what's happening here. I think there's a deadlock or something. So we actually see that there is a bunch of demand happening here, and we return events. But for example, we already see that there is a negative amount of total demand. So that's interesting. I mean, how can our total demand be negative? Yeah, well, because we have two pending, our demand is pending 2, and we have already 3 events in our buffer. So then it's -1. So we can just do a max here, and we don't want to have any total demands that are lower than 0. Right? Okay. So we already made sure that we don't have a negative total demand. And now, actually, when it blocks itself, we see that we have a pending demand of 4 and 3 events, and then we have a total of 1. So, and then we return 4 events. So that's good. But then it kind of blocks itself. Can we? I'm just gonna ask AI to simplify this code, because sometimes if the code is too complex, then you just make these mistakes. Simplify simplify this code. Yeah, and I'm using Claude Sonnet actually for this. Let's see. Well, that is not simplified. How do I go back there? I mean, it is slightly simplified, but like it just removed a comma, like it just removed a new line here and moved this to there. So yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna be a bit proactive, and I'm gonna return more events than we have in demand. I was always gonna return 1 more event, and let's see what happens. Well, that seems to have fixed it. Yeah, so I think there was a mismatch with how many events we sent back and then how many events we expected. Like, we got, there was probably a off by 1 issue with our demand. Cool. So now it's working. Let's see our dashboard here. Yeah, so we can actually see that our processor is working heavily, and then our batcher is not doing anything. Well, I mean, our batcher is not doing anything because literally it just it does nothing right now. Yeah, and I think the issue is here somewhere because we might send back more events than before, or like, I don't know. I always reset the thing, the total amount to 0, and I think that was the issue here, that like we might miss one event and then, or we send an extra event back and it all like runs out of sync. I don't know, but I don't care. Like right now it seems to be working. So we can actually, yeah, our one processor is already working at 90% or 80-90%. So yeah, the thing now is our bottleneck is gonna be the language model, right? This will not be as fast as a processor, so that's gonna like be here somewhere, I guess, in the default batcher, or like down here, and that is gonna slow us down. But that looks good already. Yeah, we now have a producer that doesn't choke anymore. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, then, I mean, now it's time to get into NX and Bumblebee stuff, right? Let's maybe print out the messages and see how that looks like. Data. Yeah. So let me read this one. We're gonna uncomment this so that we can see only the text, because I have, like, you can see here that I think we also want to be a bit more conservative about these very short posts where there's only like one text or so, one word. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, but that looks good. We get a bunch of text in. Now, yeah, I'm always a little excited now. I'm always a little nervous. I don't know how to continue. Like, let's look at the Bumblebee. I mean, in Elixir Bumblebee, the other issue here is also that I don't have a GPU that I can run this model on, so I can only run it on my CPU, and that's probably not going to be as fast. It's not going to be fast enough, at least. But let's see. So we already have an example of the let's see, guides, examples, text classification, this one basically. So I just want to see what happens if I do it in Livebook. Like, how fast is it gonna be? So I'm gonna open up a Livebook, and I probably need to install Bumblebee, add Kino, I guess, too. Yep. Bumblebee. Yeah, and I'm just gonna move this away here. So I'm just gonna see what happens. So first of all, we install our dependencies. All right. That's gonna take a couple of seconds. And we're compiling them too. Okay, now it's compiled. Now we're downloading Bird, and that is actually a 500 megabyte file. So that's already interesting. We would need to download that into our application as into the RAM. And then it's loading the tokenizer. Because yeah, there is a tokenizer and there is a model. That's my understanding. So we need to first tokenize our post. So the text that we have, we first need to tokenize it. That means we kind of break it down into the most basic. Yeah, that's a relatively small model. It's true, but it's still 550 MBs. All right, so yeah, now so we download our model, which is 540 MBs, and then we download a tokenizer, which is only 3 MB, so that's fine. And that one, so the tokenizer is actually going to break down our text into the basics of a language. So it kind of sanitizes the language into the basic pieces. And that we're gonna send into our model. So our model doesn't understand, if we just send in raw text, it needs to be tokenized. Yeah, so now we have our serving, and with our serving, we can, what happens here? We can input something. Text generator, where was it? Here, right? This time we need to load, and then, yeah, we read the input and we run our serving on it. Something is breaking here. Index something is out of bounds for access 0. Huh. Okay, I mean, we don't need our input here. We can just run our serving directly with some text here. This is some very happy text. Okay, now it's running. I think there was an issue with our input field here, but you can already see how long it takes. I hope it's running, but it's already at 10 seconds or so. 12 seconds. 14. Do you think it's actually running the model, or is it just waiting for something? I don't know. Look at my CPU. Well, it's taking up a whole core. Boy, that takes forever. That is taking forever. They can't take that long, can it? 44 seconds? I don't believe this. Let's stop this one. And let's reevaluate. Cute. Oh, okay, now it's re-downloading the model and the tokenizer. First time it runs, it takes longer. I mean, 45 seconds long. Yeah. Well, while we wait for this to happen, I don't know what's happening here. Let me just stop everything. Let me first evaluate this one so that we have our serving. Well, while this runs, I don't know why it takes so ever long. Maybe it's not showing the download progress anymore. I don't know. But while it runs, I'm just gonna head out to the toilet. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, all right. So this took a couple of seconds, but now we have our serving here, and if we evaluate something, Let's see how long that takes. But if it takes an hour or like a minute, Jesus. I mean, you've seen, maybe what we could do is try to get a GPU somewhere and run it there. I think that would be the best option. If we can just set it up for our development purposes and then we have a GPU somewhere and we just, send the data there. And that's actually surprisingly easy, I learned. You just need to expose an environment variable, which has a string to the GPU, like a connection to the GPU, and then you just do the same stuff here and it connects to the GPU magically. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. But I mean, this is taking 50 seconds already. And this is a pretty short string, right? It's like 6 words, so what's happening here? Yeah, I don't know. Why is it only using one CPU? So it's using 670 MB of RAM. I mean, OBS is actually using 1.5, so okay. Beam using 1 CPU. I guess it's, I mean, it's running this model on the CPU, so I guess give it 1 word instead of 6. Okay, well, we had oh shit. We had 1.5 minutes now. So let me just redo this. But I even generated images on Livebook with something, and it took a minute or two. So I think something is off here. Yeah. I think I also wanna move this over here. Maybe then we don't have to reevaluate that cell all the time. Because the actual serving, like creation of the serving, that should not take that long. I think it's just putting together these 2 options and that's it. It's just creating a struct. Yeah. But because my cell here was relying on the serving variable that was defined in this cell, it always needed to reload this cell in order to execute this cell here. So now if I stop and reevaluate this, damn, it starts the first cell again. Why? I thought it was smarter than this. Yeah. Well, now we have... Okay, I'm just gonna move this to its own cell. Like I wanna have all of them in a different cell. So that I don't wanna reload this the whole time. But otherwise, can't we get a fly GPU? How could we get a fly GPU? Or we just launch one. Okay. Oh, we can even do it with a pre-trained model. But we don't want to have Olama. Let's see. Open source. So wait, let me go back to this one. So what I want to do, yeah, we could get one of these. Like I can even get one of those, an A100 for $250 an hour. I'm happy with that. Even $350 per hour, sure. This live stream is gonna make me 0, but I think I can eat that cost. But the issue here is it's even in Amsterdam, so that would be cool because I'm in Amsterdam, then we don't have that delay there. The issue now is just how can I connect that to my to my livebook here. And I know that Christopher Granger, he recently gave a talk about it, but I haven't watched it. Shame on me. But he gave a talk about how to run this, how to connect your livebook to a GPU in the cloud, and I should have watched it before this live stream, I realized. We can just pop in here. So let's see, maybe we can just find the code that he used. All right, yeah, of course, I remember. We can just do it here somewhere. It's not part of livebook. Runtime settings. We can just tell it to, hey, use a fly GPU, and I think we're good to go, if I'm not mistaken. Launch preview, configure. So he has his machine here. All right, yeah, we can, the node, runtime settings, configure, boom, fly IO machine, and go to fly dashboard, click tokens in the left sidebar and create a new token for organization of choice. Yeah. Okay, well, I also still want to see how long this takes on the CPU. But, you know, ideally we could run this locally. But if it takes a minute or longer to just classify a single word, then that's of course not acceptable. But while this is running, I'm just going to do the setup thing, and I have to do my privacy screen so that you can't spy with your little eye the secret token that I'm about to create here. So, no, wait, I don't want this. Alrighty, now I'm gonna need a, what was it again? A token. Click tokens in the left sidebar. Tokens. Okay. Okay. So now I can think, yeah. All right, 1 second. I just gotta close this one. Okay, now we're good. So I just configured my livebook to connect directly to Fly, and I created an application here in Amsterdam, and now I can actually create a GPU. See, GPUs are only available in certain regions, but there should be one. I want to have the A180 gigabytes. GPU type A180 gigabytes, and just one GPU. And I think I need 2 gigabytes of memory just to load the model. And yeah, just a shared CPU should be fine. Do I need CUDA? I have no clue. Let's see what Chris does. So he configures, goes to Fly, and then he has to insert the token. Here is a config, okay. And then he also selects the GPU, but he just creates the machine. Okay. But now I want to see how he does his, yeah. Okay, he starts flame, and then I want to see how he starts the GPU. You should really watch this keynote if you want to learn more about how to work locally with remote GPUs. This is a really good live keynote. Yeah. So now he's actually getting into video analysis. Okay. Now Chris is taking over. Yeah, he's a very smart guy. He has a company here in Amsterdam, actually. He lives in Amsterdam, close to me. Yeah, it's really cool what he does with. So he uses, like, he has a company that uses AI for classifications of patents. So if you're a patent researcher and you want to see, well, are there other patents that are similar to the application I have in front of me? You know, so you have all these patent lawyers, and they get a bunch of applications for new patents, and they need to do research whether this already exists somewhere, right? What somebody applies for. And his company, they go in there and they basically analyze all these patents from all the different libraries all over the world, and they use AI to classify them. So if you know, okay, this patent is in this industry or this, topic, basically, you can, in their app, you can go in and actually search for other patents that are related, and that makes your work so much faster. So yeah. Oh, cool, you were there even. Awesome. You're from Brazil, right? You said. So did you fly over? Still waiting to see which buttons he clicked. So wait, he has configured for performance CPU. I guess he's not running it on a GPU. Yeah, he has a flame running. Anyway, let's just. So also what I wanted to see. Oh, look at that. It took only how long? Very long. But we finally got a result. If I do. Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool. Well, okay, we got a result here. Now I clicked it away again. But we got a result for our serving. But this is obviously way too slow. So let me just. It took way too long. So let me just configure a super powerful machine. Oh, damn it. I just had the token here. Load configuration. Oh, okay. Hang on. I gotta fetch that token again. I thought it saved it, but I clicked it away. So that was my mistake. Okay. Now I got it. Got it. Save config. All right. Boom. Here we are again. So now I can select, well, first of all, the BlueSky sentiment. Yeah, now we're back here. I'm going to save this again. Okay, now we're going to select a GPU with 80 gigabytes of memory, 2 gigabytes of memory. Let's just do a performance, 1 CPU. I don't know. Getting started with here, choosing the Docker image base. Many open source machine learning projects have ready-made Docker images, for example, Olama, Bazaar, and Local AI. Check out. Oh, look at that. Maybe we can actually reuse an existing stable diffusion, image generation, Bumblebee model harness. Okay. Collab, not Midjourney bot. Local AI, Bazarin. Yeah, but they don't have Bird. Okay. All right, so we don't have a app yet that we can use. So If you're building your own image, choose the base image that NVIDIA supports. Nah. I mean, I don't want CUDA, so okay. Let's just connect to this thing. GPU machines are disabled for this organization. Oh no, I have to apply for it? I guess. You got it wrong. What takes time is first model compilation, but it's taking way too long, so maybe Livebook is limited in some way. Fly will save you, but it's weird. Yeah, and also I can't create GPU machines. I guess I need to, hang on, I gotta maybe apply for it or something. Team organization. Because I remember you needed to, it's general availability. Well, not for this organization. I think I need to apply for it or something. Where do I do that? Wait, GPU quick start. Yeah. I guess they forgot to mention that you need to ask for it or something. Source. Jesus. VM size. Yeah, let me check out my organization. Maybe I can find a toggle somewhere where I can actually ask for GPUs. Apps. Warning token settings. No. Account. No. I mean, do you have any ideas where that could be, maybe? Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just run this command that they give me here in my local terminal, because I am logged into Fly. Let's see, maybe. Wait. Refuse to forget. What? Okay, let's just do GPU. Okay, now let's run this thing. Okay, so they're cloning a Git repository. Would you like to copy its configuration to the new app? Or an existing Fly terminal file was fine. Okay. Well, I think we need to do this in an empty folder. So I'm gonna go in here, and now I'm gonna rerun it. What do you mean existing terminal file was used? No. So, couldn't find Docker file, no detect the runtime framework, continue with a blank app. Let's see. We ask for a VM GPU. Okay. So what are we doing? We are adding a nothing. We're not adding, it's just an app. Okay, this is just the app. All right, so we're creating an app, and then inside that app, I would expect to start a GPU. Switching to a business org, you must insert a credit card. I mean, I have a credit card inserted. I have a credit card there, I think. I mean, okay, let me double check. Maybe it's my mistake that I don't have a... Because I have my personal organization, and in here, well, maybe I go to billing. And it takes forever. But I do charge automatically. I have a payment method set up here. Customer code. Billing. I'm pretty sure they mention it here. Manage billing. Okay. I'm going to Stripe. Ah, my card is expired. All right. No, but I have a new card, and that one is make default. Okay. Okay. Now I have a credit card set up. Let's see. Let's see. So, So what's happening now? If I go back here and I try to configure the same thing, I do connect, could not GPU machines are disabled for this organization. Oh, but I'm gonna save this config just in case. Check whether you're trying to create the GPU inside the business. It might be the wrong. Oh, okay, yeah. Maybe the token was wrong because I created it from my account. But yeah, I hope it. Yeah, it's in the right organization, and I created a token for it. Yeah, that one is correct. Check whether you're trying to create the GPU inside the business organization. I am. Charge automatically. Yeah, all right. Switch to granular. Okay. Well, we can still. I still want to try it from the command line because I hope that they will give me a better like an answer, like, hey, you need to just go there, you know, and do this. So don't they have a command? GPU quick start. Yeah, we can create an app and then okay. Okay, so we need to go into this where's that? We need to go into the new GPU folder, and in here we have a flight toml, and in here this is what where they say I can define the primary region and the VM size. But it's complaining. Maybe. Okay. And then mounts. Use a volume to store LLMs or any big file that doesn't fit in the Docker file. Okay, sure. Oh, I see. We have a double VM here. So I'm gonna move the size here. Wait, I'm just gonna copy this thing. And okay. So what happens if I run fly deploy? Fail to fetch an image or build from source. App does not have a Docker file. Yeah, I don't know. They create their own Docker file here to build a Docker image that contains that model, I guess. I mean, all I want is a GPU that I can connect to. Huh. All right. Yeah, this is getting a little complicated. Can we run it on a Hugging Face? Do you think? But I mean, I would like to use a GPU from Fly. I just don't know. I just need that environment string. It's just like whatever. There's like an environment variable, and you need to set that, and then it automatically connects to that thing. Oh, okay. Man, I don't know. Yeah, but we don't have a Docker file here either. No, I think we... I mean, what happens if I try to scale my app to that? If I just do fly scale, what can I do here? VM, and then I'm gonna add the A100. Could not create a fly terminal from any machines. Huh. Yeah. I mean, try the Livebook integration, which I know closed. Great. Here. But, you know, like if you go to runtime configure, then you can post a token over here, and then you can select a GPU kind, and that way you can actually start something. But in my case, it just gives me the error: GPU machines are disabled for this organization. So let's search for that maybe. Okay, somebody had the same mistake, and they sent an email to Fly. Great. Maybe I just need to email them. Oh. Billing at fly.io. I guess I need to do that. Yeah. All right, folks. I think I will do that, and then we will continue with this stuff, because I would like to run it on their GPU, and then I don't need to run it locally, because you've seen it takes forever to do a serving here. Yeah. I mean, just downloading the model takes forever. I mean, it's half a gigabyte, okay. And it would be cool to do this on Livebook, because I hope that I can then, because what the cool thing about Livebook is that eventually you can just convert something to code, and then you can, yeah, you can just copy paste it into your application. And that way it will be easy for us to actually set up the GPU to run our model on. Yeah. A CPU optimized model. Maybe. Good question. Bird CPU optimized. So there's a gist. But it's still the same. I mean, they use different flags here. Oh, sorry, it's a little small, but there's nothing really interesting in here. I mean, this is here. This from Hugging Face. They have a blog post. Benchmarking methodology. It's fine. It's fine. I think the solution here would be to just get a message billing at Fly.io to get my organization unlocked, and then maybe tomorrow I can do another live stream, and then we can try to hook it up, because it would be nice to first try it out in Livebook, and then eventually I can hopefully deploy this application to Fly, and then in Fly we can just set a GPU, and that will hopefully magically connect to the right thing, and then it will just run. Yeah, but I would like to try it out in Livebook first, because what we have is already, we have set up our our whole pipeline. So the only right now here, this is where we need to run our serving, where we need to actually call maybe like a gen server that has the model loaded, and then call like, hey, decode this thing or classify this, and then we can have the results here and continue with saving them in TimescaleDB. Yeah. All right, folks. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna make a cut here. I'm just gonna figure that out with Fly. Come back tomorrow after work, and then we can continue this. But I think we already made a big improvement here by connecting to the Jetstream API. So instead of the official API, we connect to Jetstream, and that gives us the JSON of only posts, and they already have the text and the language as well. So that makes it so much easier to just filter them. We have a pipeline set up. We can get a lot of messages in here. And yeah, the last thing now is to do the sentiment analysis, and then to store it in TimescaleDB. Jesus, I'm terrible with names. Yeah, TimescaleDB. For that, I think I will also reach out to Supabase. Well, I'm gonna create a database on Supabase that has that extension enabled, and then we can also connect it to our application in Fly very easily and visualize it. But you can also start a Postgres database locally that has timescale enabled. It's just a Docker image you can load, and I think I'm gonna do that first. But the problem will be, if I run this locally, like how can I locally connect to the GPU we have running in Fly? That's gonna be a little bit tricky. So that's why I was hoping Fly would just create the GPU and give us the string, the connection string, because again, that's just like GPU connection. It's just a environment variable, and that would automatically set it. Where is it? Bumblebee and variable GPU connection. I also got to figure that out, and I saw it somewhere, but I forgot again where it is. Fine tuning, introduction. Yeah. Does somebody of you remember that environment variable? Entry script. Nah. That's GPU. That's all right. We'll figure that out tomorrow, and hopefully we will see it in our application when we start it. Yeah. Funny. But yeah, look, this is how it's going to look like when we actually get it to run on the GPU. So we will just enter the text and then we get a predictions map back, and it has the labels positive, neutral, and negative. It has 3 different values, floats, and we just, pick the largest, and then we know whether it's positive, neutral, negative. And then we can also do some fine tuning on this, because what we could do here is say, well, this is one post. Like, it depends on how we classify these, right? We can say, well, we're gonna just do like a -101 for each post. So, we don't use the floating point classifications. We just use the integers like -101. And then we average all of these integers, and that gives us our average sentiment on that time. But then we also have another other questions to answer. So like, do we ignore any? So in this situation, like, we have 0.98 accuracy that happy is actually a positive post text, whatever. But do we also want to ignore the neutral or the negative values here, or should we take them into account when we average our sentiment over time, right? So you might have a text where like positive is just slightly more than neutral, and then you still say this is positive, and that might actually make your overall sentiment a little worse. So yeah, but my understanding is that with these sentiment, like these analyses, I think sometimes it's better to just make hard classifications. So like it's either a dog or a cat. It's not like something in between. We just say, well, dog, cat, in this case, positive, neutral, negative, and that gives like an integer, and we just sum up the integers. That would make it easier. Yeah, and then the baseline would be 0. And then whether it's positive or negative, it would fluctuate a little around that neutral 0 place, so to say. Yeah. Well, that is all to be discussed tomorrow, I would say. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Sorry that we couldn't get further. I'm gonna reach out to Fly and ask them what's up. And then hopefully that's gonna be fixed by tomorrow. And if it is, then I will do another live stream tomorrow after work, 5 p.m. Amsterdam time. And yeah, so keep an eye out on this space. Do you have any last questions? Are people still in the stream at all? I guess a couple of people. There are always like 260 on Twitter. Twitter is the most active one. Yeah, always a pleasure to have you. Yeah, it's great. Actually, I already had an idea for the next project. So once we're done with this project, which is still ongoing and big and all, but once hopefully that is done, I have a new idea, and I am, I want to build a Twitch clone. And what made me here, so I wanted to try this library here, which is called Boombox, and it is developed by the Membrane framework team. Yeah, same time more or less, 1 hour later, but more or less same time. I'm gonna start like 5 p.m. Amsterdam. Not sure what that is with you. But again, my next project is we're gonna try to use Boombox, and Boombox is a high-level library for using the Membrane library underneath. And Membrane is a great, it's an audio and video streaming tool written in Elixir. And very few people know this, but Elixir is amazing for doing audio and video streaming, although it's not super fast. Yeah, 4 p.m. UK. Today I started at 3 p.m. UK, so you joined an hour later. But yeah, tomorrow I will probably start at 4 p.m. UK. Yeah, that's true. So about this thing, like the cool thing about Membrane is that you can easily set up audio and video live streams or streams with Elixir. But Membrane, the foundation of all, it's a very complicated framework because it offers you so many different options, right? It's kind of like FFmpeg, but then in Elixir, and it's great and all, but it's really small in the details here. For example, this is a Membrane demo, like the camera to HLS. Yeah. And you know, you can see here, like you have to create a source, create a converter, create an encoder, select the input, select an HLS sync, all that kind of stuff, right? You can really fine tune the stream here. And that's amazing if you're actually in that stuff, if you need to do, you know, video streaming or live streaming. But they realized that the team realized that this might be too nitty-gritty detail. So what they've done is they created another library, which is called Boombox, and that is basically a high-level abstraction on Membrane. So you can actually see here with the examples that we so for example, here, this one is an idea for streaming data as an HLS stream. I don't know, WebRTC proxy, yeah, broadcast an MP4 as an HLS stream. It's literally as easy as Boombox run. You have an input, well, in this case, a file. Like for example here, like what you're seeing in your, wherever you are right now, is basically that I use Restream. So I use OBS to stream to Restream. Restream is like a service in between. And they connect to all these different services like Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch. And they use an RTMP stream for that. I guess that is a certain protocol. RTMP. It's a real-time messaging protocol. Yeah. And that is basically, you know, that's a protocol that they use to send all the data to all these platforms. And you can set up the same with Boombox. You know, it's literally like 4 lines, 5 lines, 6 lines of code. You know, you say basically, okay, where is my RTMP stream coming from? And with OBS, they always expose it locally on a local host. So I don't know, I'm not sure whether I can connect to this now. No. But or 5432 is usually Postgres. But yeah, anyway, so you can set up a you can set up an input here from OBS into Boombox, and then from Boombox you can give an output stream, and you can then see that on a website, you know. So that's what I want to do. This is I want to kind of like connect to my local OBS instance, get the same picture that you're getting now, and then just show it on a local website, like, and then ideally deploy it to Fly so that you can go to your Fly website and, you know, you see me there, but also wherever you are, like YouTube, Twitch, and so on. And then we could even add a little chat system, you know, so that you can chat on that application with me. And that would be amazing, no? That would be really cool to set up that streaming software between me and the website using Boombox. Yeah. So that's the idea for the next project. Yeah, you can also do WebRTC. That is also amazing for making video calls. Look, they even have a okay, I didn't know this, but they already have a Twitch clone example. I'm not gonna look at it too much. We're gonna build it ourselves, okay? But it's already there. I'm just gonna scroll past it really quick. But you can see already that, you know, it's much easier to set up like a streaming platform with a high-level API. Yeah. All right, enough about this. This is gonna be our next project, and currently we still have our own project, so we need to do that first. Okay, folks, that's all from my side for today. I hope you had a great time. If you liked it, you know, you can always like, subscribe on YouTube, like and subscribe. You know, that's what they say. I don't know, but you know, just to get notified whenever I'm gonna go back to streaming. I think Twitter is still the best option. Otherwise, LinkedIn also there, and YouTube and Twitch I'm also there. So wherever you're watching this now, just hit the subscribe button, and you will be notified when I come back online. But otherwise, you can also rewatch the streams on YouTube if you want. It's not as interactive, you know, this is more fun, I guess, but still fun. All right, folks, I wish you a very happy rest of the day, and I see you